What's up, everybody? It's the Fastest Rises podcast, the Tuck Your Chin podcast, here again with another episode. As you can see, no Mike or Julian, because now I am your new host in charge. I'm sorry. Please forgive me for how bad this episode will go with me being in charge. Now let's run around and get to know everyone. Jacob. Jacob.
Oh, bro, my mic was muted. I'm so sorry. I said like a whole monologue. Okay, it's always fun to be on the podcast, sit here, talk wrestling. Thank you, Steve, for letting me come on.
Yeah, And next up, we got the Michigan metalhead, Mr. Nathan himself.
Hello, greetings, salutations, viewers. Thank you for taking your time out of your day or night, preferring wherever you live. I'm not going to judge. But thank you for taking the time to listen to us talk about what am I saying? But anyways, thank you for taking the time for listening to us talk about our favorite sports of all time, which is professional wrestling.
Yeah, Antwan.
What's up, everybody? Once again, it's great to be back again with another great episode. Well, ain't even an episode yet, and it came on yet. But we all know it's gonna be great. Of the Tuck Your Chin podcast, it's great. Hope you all come enjoy. Well, no matter what time you're watching it, if you're watching it in the day or night, I hope you all take the time to enjoy. As Steve, this is Steve's first time hosting. I'm gonna help him out a little bit. And let's all come and have some fun. How about that?
Yeah. The Texas man himself, James, wherever he is.
Yo.
And Cassie.
What's up? Hey, everybody. We are back. Last time, Cassie hasn't been on an episode for a while, but she's back. So this is James TM316 on Instagram, just like Austin316. Go follow me. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Like every single video that we have, if you haven't already, I don't know what you're doing. We're gonna have some fun going over Summerslam, going over Takeover 30. Let's do it.
Yeah. Our first match on the card, we got the kickoff show was Legado del Fantasma versus Breezango versus Oni Lurkin and Danny Burch, with Breezango becoming number one contenders. I'll start with this. I kind of missed the kickoff. I forgot there was a kickoff. So, Antwan.
All right. I'm going to admit now that I was not home for the kickoff at all. I was going to get new furniture for my room, so I missed the kickoff. However,
it was 30 minutes into the actual show started.
Honestly, I missed that. I thought I was gonna be able to see it, but a lot of things Saturday, a lot of things happened before Takeover. So, congratulations to Breezango that they won, and then I don't want contenders. I thought whether their names Legado del Fantasma, I thought they were gonna win, but I guess we got Breezango for this.
Yeah, Jacob.
I thought it was a good match. From what I saw, there were some nice little spots. Legado del Fantasma, they're a pretty good team. Same old. Breezango, I like them, but they aren't really taken serious, in my opinion. So I don't really know. I don't think they're going to beat Imperium, but that's just my opinion. But it was a good match.
Mm-hmm. Nathan?
I thought it was a really good way to kick off the show. I mean, obviously, my boys, Breezango, I knew they were going to win. Because heel and heel triple threat tag team matches usually don't work out as well. So I figured, hey, Breezango is going to come out on top and possibly with the NXT tag team titles.
Yeah, sure. James, Cassie.
So with the pre-show, like yourselves, I didn't get so I wasn't here, unfortunately. I was on my way to the house to get good Wi-Fi because Sprint sucks. So whoever's watching this, that's why. Because that carrier's no good.
We're not over it.
That's why I didn't get to see Breezango.
Yeah.
So I got to the kickoff show I think it was like 20 minutes before the actual show. Watched 15 minutes of it. I saw Renee Young say her goodbyes. Thank you, Renee. Hashtag it up. And yeah, that's all I saw. But it's okay because I saw the whole SummerSlam. I saw the whole Summerfest.
Yeah. Moving to the next match, Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher, with Balor defeating Thatcher. Nathan, you go first.
Finally, Balor gets a win. Honestly, I actually thought that was a really, really good match from Finn Balor. I mean, I knew he was going to win in the first place because I mean, I've had hopes for him. I've always been a fan of him. But yeah, I thought it was a great match. Timothy Thatcher did an awesome job as well.
Yeah, I would say the same. I watched Thatcher in MLW and before WWE. He's really talented, but Finn, man, he's been losing and losing and losing. So glad to see that broke. Antwan.
I thought it was a great match. With the two clash of styles there. Timothy Thatcher, as I said before, he's definitely part of the future of the company. It was a great showing that he had, but I knew for a fact that Finn was going to get the win. He has been on the losing streak as of late. However, I believe as they said it was his 12th Takeover win. So I think so. This honestly is great. He need this win, and I'm hoping to see what more is going to come with him on NXT as well as Thatcher.
James and Cassie.
All right, so I'm glad Finn Balor won. I mean, I just like I said, I think it was in the when we went over it, like the predictions. It was either way that I was going, but I was hoping for a Balor win because I mean he needs some legitimacy. And against someone like that, I believe it doesn't really hurt Thatcher's end. Like it doesn't hurt him to have a loss. It's Finn Balor. He lost against Finn Balor. It's not that bad of a thing. Finn Balor is really good.
Yeah.
So works out for both of them. You know what I mean?
Next match on the card, we have the North American Championship match, which was Bronson Reed versus Cameron Grimes versus Damian Priest versus Johnny Gargano versus, unfortunately, Velveteen Dream, with Priest winning the vacant title as I predicted. Thank God, because if it were to be Johnny, I would have probably broke something that day, whether it be a device or my bone. But I'm so glad it was not
God.
Johnny.
Jesus.
The dedication of this man, I respect.
James.
Thank you, man. Jacob, you can go.
I loved the ladder match. I'm not gonna lie. It was a spot fest, but it was great. Every person in the match looked good except for Velveteen. Velveteen just kind of looked meh, which I guess they're kind of not trying to push him right now with everything going on, which I kind of like. But his bump that he took towards the end of the match, where he jumped off the top rope over the guardrail into a table, looked beautiful as hell. I was really a fan of Bronson Reed. Like throughout the match, I started low key thinking, man, Bronson should kind of win this because he was looking great in the match. The little splash that he did to Gargano with Candice LeRae on his back was good. But I don't mind Priest winning because Priest looks so good with that title belt. So yeah, it was a great match though.
Yeah, Priest is talented. This was definitely, coming. Antwan?
I thought it was a really awesome match. This is actually one of my favorite matches of the night. Looking at it, I have to say that every man in this match, they all brought out something special. I was glad that Priest won. I said that in this, this is kind of, I figured this was gonna be something. This was gonna be. I figured this was gonna be, his night because I said this before that this man's the future. Priest, the sky's the limits for this guy. You seen how he's winning against some of the other top talent NXT had to offer with Finn. He's taking on Keith Lee. So and he's faced Dijakovic. So I said ever since I started seeing this man what he's been doing, I said that he was gonna be the future. And I figured in this match, this was a make or break. He needed this championship, I think, a lot more than the others. But however, I do say that I do see a lot for other guys like Bronson Reed, who also impressed me here. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Bronson Reed to me, if he can work on his promo skills, I'm gonna say this: this guy, he could legit be the next Samoa Joe in my view. I really feel like I call last Samoa Joe vibes often. I really feel like with with his promo ability, if he can increase it a lot, I really think he can really nail it. You know, I was impressed by him a lot, as well as Cameron Grimes. Um, I'm glad Velveteen didn't win, given the current circumstances surrounding him right now. I don't think right now is the best time to really be giving him anything. Um, and as far as Gargano is concerned, thank goodness he didn't win either. I think Johnny, he's he's been champion plenty of times, you know, already. I don't think now is the time for him to be winning anything. I think, you know, it's the time for him to kind of like be given another spot, you know, kind of let the other guys take up those spots for a bit, you know. Because him right now, I don't really think he needs a championship. But overall, the match, it was awesome, and it was one of my favorite matches of the night.
Yeah, James.
All right. So, unfortunately, you know, that match I didn't get to see because that day I worked a 12-hour shift. But that doesn't mean that I didn't see the results on social media as soon as it happened. It also doesn't mean that I can't give my input. So, with Damien, I think the first time I saw Damian Priest wrestle, if I'm not mistaken, it was a War Games. Was he in a War Games? Am I right? Might be incorrect. But the first thing I saw, I mean, he reminds me of kind of like old school Baron Corbin, like the end of days, like the lone wolf kind of character. And I like that character for Baron Corbin. I really did. I thought it was badass. I mean, the crowd would count down with him. Remember that? So I get that impression from him. He's just got that impact on the crowd. He's like someone that you naturally want to like. I think it was an awesome win for him. The picture that he took with Triple H was freaking awesome on Instagram. Yeah, I didn't get to see it, but hopefully I do soon. I mean, I haven't got to catch up on Takeover because the next day that I was able to watch anything, it was SummerSlam.
Cassie, you have anything to say?
No.
Nathan?
I thought that was a phenomenal ladder match. I thought that was that was one of, if not the best match of the night, in my opinion, and this bad boy's opinion. My new igloo. You can plug time. You can go buy those for like $12.99, I believe. But yeah, Damian Priest is obviously, as the last name of one of my favorite bands of all time, Judas fucking Priest. But yeah, I figured he would win. You know, he looked. You know, everybody did amazing. Bronson Reed was absolutely phenomenal. Velveteen, he was all right. I mean, due to the circumstances, they had to treat him that way. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. Cameron Grimes was great. Gargano, yeah, I thought he was all right. But yeah, I thought the match itself was absolutely phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Next match on the card, we have Adam Cole and Pat McAfee, with Cole defeating McAfee. I was going for Pat. I honestly thought, the punter of the decade, the NFL's strongest leg, I honestly thought he was going to win. And the fact that, the odds were kind of even, because if the Undisputed Era would have come out, he had his NFL guys with him. But kind of devastated Pat didn't win. But what can you expect, He was doing backflips and going crazy, man. This guy was showing his athleticism. It was a good match, despite, the ending. I'm not mad with Adam Cole winning. It's obvious NXT sits house. So, what else would happen? Antwan?
All right. So there is a little bit of a lot to say about this. So, okay. First of all, great match. To Pat McAfee, you watching this? Congratulations, you impressed me. I coming into that, I didn't know what to expect out of the guy, because with hardly any too much wrestling experience, I didn't think what to expect with him. But he went in there, he actually brought Adam Cole. That man was out there, he was out there hitting dives. And he did he jumped he jumped to the top rope and did something, did a superplex, I believe. He did, like, he was out there really killing it. I was amazed, because like I didn't think he was gonna go ahead and pull all these moves out, given the fact that the man likes to run his mouth so much. However, he backed up some of that stuff. He lost, but he lost in shine. You know, he went out there. I definitely don't think this is the last we'll see of him in an NXT ring, let alone a WWE ring. But I do see that, you know, there's passion he obviously does have for this in a sense. You know, he may talk be a loudmouth, but when it comes to bell to bell, takeover, he went out there and he killed it. Props to Adam Cole for winning. I've always been an Adam Cole fan. You know, I was going for him to win this. You know, but if Pat would have won, I don't think I would have been too mad about it, given the fact that, you know, he went out there and he did outstanding performance. You know, he really rocked Takeover in a lot of ways. So I gotta give it to both men. So congratulations to both Adam Cole and to Pat on a great performance.
Yeah, I agree. James?
Well, I mean, this was the match I was most looking forward to, and this is one I'm definitely looking forward to going back and watching. I mean, I saw the result. Like I said in the predictions, I was hoping to see. Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess, you know, we'll see where the storyline goes, but I'm glad he had a good match. Like, I saw a lot of clips from the match. He did well for. I mean, I figured he would because he's an athlete, you know, and he has that natural athleticism. He wouldn't be a former NFL person if he wasn't. So that wasn't something that I was too surprised about. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad Adam Cole won. It was cool that he did, and he took the win for NXT. You know, he kept that. He fought for, you know, the wrestlers, I think, that night, I guess you can say, as opposed to someone coming in and starting brand new.
Yeah. Jacob?
Oh man, I love this match. I'm not gonna lie to you. Pat proved so many people wrong in this match. Like all the people who were talking bad on him because they didn't think that he could wrestle and stuff. Even though Pat has been training for it, and I enjoyed this thoroughly. It was a great match. The spot where Pat did a whole like front flip onto a bunch of people on the outside, I think was great. And yeah, it was just a good ass match.
And next match on the card, we have Nathan. Did you go?
No, I did not.
I'm there. I just remember. All right, you can go.
God diggity damn, that match was awesome. You know, I was expecting Pat McAfee to like mess up a few times, like, because he's never worked in the ring before. You know, I mean, obviously you'd expect a lot of people to mess up in the ring for the first time, but wow, he was in there like the ring was his home. Impressed with the match. You know,
Balance. It wasn't one like it wasn't Dakota beating Io up, then Io having to fight back. It wasn't Io beating Dakota up, then Dakota had to fight back. It was mixed and balanced. Then even when Raquel got involved a little bit, Io still found a way to pull out the W. Then I liked Rhea Ripley coming out after the match when they were about to attack her. Then they kind of showed it. You can kind of see Rhea looking at the title more, saying like, you know, okay, I got your back now, but in the future, I'm coming back for the title, which I think sets up potential better matches down the line too. So yeah, it was all around. It was another good match, in my opinion.
Nathan?
um, basically Jacob said. Basically, what Jacob said, I couldn't agree more. That match was really good. The ending spot was also amazing, where Rhea Ripley came out and did the stare down with Raquel Gonzalez, as I like
Yeah.
to say. I like to pronounce stuff in that way, but you know, it was a good match though.
James?
All right. So, of course, you already know I did not. I unfortunately didn't see it. However, you know what? I thought this would be a real quick time for a story. And Raquel Gonzalez, her real name's Victoria. She's actually from, I believe
Your
she's
hometown?
from like 20 miles north of where I live. She came to Corpus. She wrestled under this guy that I trained with here. His name's Ben Galvan. And yeah, so interesting story. My former roommate that I used to live with tagged up with her in his first match, his debut match, and they won. And now she's on NXT, and we're talking about her on a NXT Takeover review. It's pretty freaking crazy, dude. And I saw when she had first gotten signed with NXT. It was almost like 4 years ago, dude, that she got signed, and it took her that long, to get to this point in her career. And yeah, so good for her. And yeah, that's cool to see her shine in that way.
Antwan?
Man, I gotta say this was a great match. It's always great to see the women go in there and just shine and kind of prove their dominance. Io, I'm glad she retains. I said this on the prediction. I feel like Io, she needs to have a good long reign with this a little bit. Have a good run with the title. At least until it's time to really kind of pass it to somebody else. But Dakota, I definitely was impressed with her as well. She's come a long way. I say that she's definitely a future NXT Women's Champion in making herself. Another thing I liked was the stare down between Raquel and Rhea. Those two, I definitely can see mixing it up soon. Like that to me is a future good clash between those two. I can definitely see great things coming out of that though. But as Jacob pointed out, she was also eyeing the women's championship, so I definitely see her not just focus on Raquel, but also focusing on reclaiming the NXT Women's Championship as well from Io. So that's definitely going to be something to look out for in months to come. But overall, great match.
Main event, we got Keith Lee versus Karrion Kross, with Kross defeating Keith Lee. James?
All right, so I was surprised at this one, but then not surprised when they announced that Keith Lee was going to be on Raw. I hope that Karrion Kross is okay. That shoulder separation, I personally have been through that. Not a complete shoulder separation. Fortunately, I have not. However, I've had both shoulders dislocated. It is not a freaking good feeling, dude. It is not.
It doesn't seem like it.
It's extremely painful.
Didn't you do it the other day?
It's extremely debilitating. Yeah, I did it the other day moving. I move stuff as a job, and it was not fun. And I don't know how he finished the match. I really don't. Like with the complete shoulder separation, depending on what part of the shoulder was damaged. Dude,
Pure adrenaline.
Props. Mad respect for him. He deserves the freaking title for just even going through that. Like I said, I've seen clips from all the matches on Instagram and social media, so it was awesome. It looked great. Him and Scarlett are a freaking awesome couple and an awesome duo, management, superstar, whatever you want to call them. They're awesome. And I hope that he doesn't have to give up his title, dude. I really hope everything works out for him.
Yeah, he just won it. Those suck.
Yeah.
Antwan?
I thought it was a great match, but I feel bad for Karrion. He won the championship in style, but unfortunately an injury. This injury here is definitely something to look at. It's kind of gives me some vibes back in 2016 when Finn won the Universal Championship from Seth Rollins, and he had a shoulder injury himself, and he had to relinquish it. I hope this is not the case here with Karrion. I feel it last night. Takeover this past Saturday. I feel like he went in there. Him and Keith, they went in there and mixed it up really, really good. I knew it was going to be a great match. Given the fact that both told a great story building towards the match, and with Keith Lee now going to Raw, this definitely opens. This definitely feels big. These are definitely some big shoes for Karrion Kross to kind of fill in a bit. Now that he's champion, but I'm hoping that with this injury, I hope it he doesn't be out for long. I hope it's minor at best, but it sounds like I don't know what to kind of put it, but I hope he recovers from this ASAP. Because he earned this championship. I've been impressed by him as well. I want to get on top of him, and as I said this on a prediction, I said that this man was going to be the future. Coming into this, he's the future. I've been impressed with him and Scarlett since day one. Since their the ominous interest they come out to. and then the performance he gives off. Like I said, he's been dominant. No one's been able to take him down. And the fact that he went in there and he took it to Keith, brought it to Keith, definitely shows. The guy he has all the tools and everything it takes to make it. So I'm hoping with this injury, he's not out long. I hope he has the chance to get a long title reign with this, possibly, and not having to relinquish it. So overall, great match, great performance by both men, and we'll see what happens next.
Yeah, Nathan.
Phenomenal match. Oh my god, I cannot even tell you how much respect I have for Karrion Kross for carrying the match like that, yet with a shoulder injury. Holy shit. I have lots of respect for the guy, and he's basically like NXT's Undertaker. Old school Undertaker in a way, because, Scarlett, she's basically Paul Bearer, and you get what I mean, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was a phenomenal match. Gary, if you're watching this, I got nothing but mad respect for you, guy.
Jacob.
Beautiful match, beautiful storytelling in it. Keith Lee still looked strong, and he was like the first person to actually take Karrion Kross to the limit that we've seen on NXT. And I'm a huge Cross fan, so I was really heartbroken when they said that he had a separated shoulder right after the match. But then I saw a picture of the shoulder. I was like, "Geez, he wrestled on that." It looked terrible. It looked disgusting. I really hope that Keith Lee's gonna do fine on Raw. People are already trying to say that he's been buried, even though he hasn't wrestled a match on Raw yet. But that's more internet wrestling fans just complaining about everything than anything else. But he's gonna do big things on Raw. I've heard Vince likes him. They let him, shoulder tackle Brock in the Rumble, which nobody else but Drew got to be able to really do that to Brock. So I think that shows what like type of potential they see in him. Then for Cross, I hope Cross keeps the title for a while. Then eventually, I hope we get Cross versus the Demon, because I think that'll be a match that like just tears the house down and gets people excited and gets
Yeah.
people into wrestling again.
Did everyone go? Because now we're moving on to night 2, which is SummerSlam. Oh boy, the biggest party of the summer. To kick off the show, in the kickoff show, we had Apollo Crews defeat MVP to retain the title. Antwan, you go first.
All right, I thought it was a pretty good match. First of all, shout out to MVP's new theme song. I like it. Kind of gave me some his theme song. I think he used some Impact. I got some vibes with that one with it a little bit, because the way it sounded, the way the tone and the rhythm of it. I gotta give shouts out at that first. But second though, pretty good match. I definitely saw Apollo retaining. As the Hurt Business did not get involved, I definitely figured he was going to retain here. And since they're setting the stage up for him going against Bobby at Payback, I definitely see I think Bobby's probably going to win at Payback. I definitely can see it happening. But overall, this was a pretty good match between Apollo and MVP.
Yeah, James.
All right.
Hello.
So I don't know, man. Whatever happened with this match, regardless, I'm over this feud. I don't feel it. I get it, dude. I get it. And MVP's a great talent for anyone to work with, because he's experienced. He's a veteran. He knows the character work. He can make you hate him. He's a good heel. I mean, these are all good things that I'm saying about him. But I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't have like an investment into it, and I believe it's because when it comes to MVP, that was a period of wrestling. That time, I just didn't watch wrestling like I did now or before, because it was like the middle of the Attitude Era and the era where Triple H took over. And that particular PG era wasn't an era I was too fond of, because I grew up in the 90s. It was just different. And MVP was very hot during that time. Then this was probably like from 2004 to maybe like 2011, right? And he was kind of like hot. And then he did his thing on the independents. So whatever, man. I think Apollo Crews is great, and I think that he needs to. I think this is an awesome way to push him further into that U.S. title run. Like, make it relevant again. And he's a badass performer, man. When he was on the independent scene, Apollo did badass everywhere he went. He made a name for himself enough to get to NXT, and it was kind of like, okay, now he's kind of flat, but he's very athletic. He has the look. I don't know. I want to see where he goes from here. I'm glad that it's hopefully over with the MVP thing.
Yeah. Jacob?
I didn't watch. Oh man, my camera. I didn't watch much of the kickoff because I was trying to get to my friend's house to go watch Summerslam. So I saw a part of it, but I didn't see most of it, and it was just a little. I knew Apollo was going to win once they said that the Hurt Business was banned from ringside. But from what I saw, it was a pretty good match. I'm ready for Apollo to move on, but I think he might lose to Bobby at Payback, and I don't think fans are going to accept that pretty well. But Apollo kind of got his reign like fucked over by the fact of him getting COVID like right when he won the title, and that's the only reason why the feud ended up carrying out to SummerSlam anyway. But yeah, it was a decent match though.
Nathan?
Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest here. It was kind of a no-brainer for me because, like James said, or like Jim, I'm just gonna call him Jim because James is pretty much like that. No offense, James, but yeah, I didn't really vibe with the match. It was just kind of like a piss break match for me, if you know what I'm saying. But I mean, I didn't really care too much about it. No disrespect to any of the two. They're both phenomenal athletes. It's just that the match itself was just booked poorly. It could have been great if it was just booked right. It could have been great though, but I just didn't vibe with it.
Yeah. Next match, we had Bayley defeating Asuka for the SmackDown Championship, which was on the line. I enjoyed this match. I didn't think Bayley would win. It's going for Asuka, but it is what it is. Jacob?
I liked the match. I think it was a good way to get the show started off, kind of like on a different note, and it kind of set the vibe for the rest of the night that you'll never see what was coming. Because I think a lot of people expected Bayley to lose and expected Sasha to retain, which we'll get into that later. But it was a good match. I liked the whole her Asuka's knee hurt because then they played that in later in the night. Then the fact that Sasha attacking her right after, and Bayley barely escaped with the win anyway. Then Sasha took the fall for Bayley towards the end of the match with a little hip attack on the apron. And yeah, it was a good match.
Antwan?
I thought it was a great way to kick off the show. It was a good match to me. I definitely saw Bayley retaining here. I feel like they're definitely building towards Bayley and Sasha. And one thing I noticed was how, like, as Jacob mentioned, Asuka was favoring the injured leg. It's going into her second title match against Sasha later tonight. So I definitely like what the storytelling and all involved here. So overall, great match.
Nathan?
I thought it was an excellent way to kick off SummerSlam itself. I mean, the two wise asses in the form of Bayley and Sasha being themselves, always helping each other out, which I can respect them for. But I thought it was a great match. Asuka was doing great. She sold the knee injury great in the other match, which we'll get onto later on. But yeah, the match itself was great. I figured Bayley would win.
Yeah, James?
Okay, so this is where I actually sat down for the day and started watching this intensely. Look, bro, you guys might not agree with this, but Cassie and I both saw something a little different in this match. And you guys tell me if I'm right or wrong, because I may have been tripping, dude, but I don't think I was. I just saw a lot of mistimed steps in this match at the beginning. It was almost like, dude, and look, this is because I freaking love Bayley as a character and performer. She's one of my favorites of all time. Her match with Sasha, NXT Brooklyn, one of the best matches of all time. Anyways, Asuka as well. Same thing. I was just like, what the hell's going on?
She wasn't being vocal.
There
was
was lack of vocals. There was like just
Like, was she
everything just looked kind of
nervous?
sketchy at the beginning. I was like, what are they buzzing? Like, did they drink together before this or something? Like, what's going on? Like,
I noticed that too. I'm not gonna lie. I noticed that too. I was like,
even,
okay,
like,
something a little suspicious is going on here.
It's off, but you don't really know what. And I was like, she's not talking. That's what it is. She's quiet. Why is she so quiet?
and it was
Exactly.
weird too because it wasn't that it was bad. It wasn't a bad match, but I was like,
that factor was not there.
I was like, wait, this isn't as good as I was
threw it
thinking, and I was like,
off.
wait,
You were
are they
hoping it
working
would-
where it shouldn't be that good? Like, no.
Especially because, like Nathan said, the two wise asses, and she was being quiet. I was like, where are her taunts? Like, what's going on?
So I
That's
don't
not
know.
you, Bailey.
Yeah, and so but I also noticed that like her walking out, like she had the demeanor of like, man, I don't want to go through with this, and I get what she was trying to portray, like this nervous, like coward heel, like I don't want
Which
to.
I love. I'm always
Exactly.
into those types of heels.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I get that, and maybe that's what she was kind of trying to convey in the match. Maybe I was just kind of like misinterpreting it. So I'm saying both. Like, I'm saying like I think it was kind of sketchy, but maybe I was just being an
It's
idiot.
like
I don't know.
being
Yeah.
to work.
So like I don't know. What I hope is that eventually, like I've been saying in the past like 3 podcasts, I think I just hope this all ends up with Bailey versus Sasha for everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see, man.
Did everyone go?
Oh.
Mhm.
All right. Next match was for the Raw Tag Team titles. We had the Street Profits defeat Andrade and Garza. Nathan.
Oh, baby, I wanted the smoke, and the smoke I got. I thought that was an all right match. My boys over at the Street Profits, or otherwise Private Party in AEW's fashion, I thought they did a good job. Andrade and Angel Garza. They all did a great. They did great. Montez Ford being Montez Ford, obviously. And yeah, I thought it was a great match. It was a great match, all in all.
Yeah, James.
Okay. Kevin Owens was on commentary.
Oh
I'm just gonna
my
say it.
God.
That was the
His
best part of the match.
stupid outfit.
He was looking very fly in his 3-piece suit. I was just distracted the whole time by his commentary genius. Anyways, I
You look like
thought
a red boulder.
I thought it was a great match. When it comes to Montez Ford, that dude's a freaking freak, man.
Dude, somewhere in the match I said, imagine him with AJ against AJ.
Yeah, yes, dude.
The
Yeah.
spots.
When she said that, that's when I was like, it was interesting, dude, because her and I were on Twitter the whole time, so we were keeping up with
Trying so hard.
yeah, we were keeping up with what was going on social media as well as watching the show at the same time. It was cool, and dude, I was like, Montez Ford would be a freaking amazing singles competitor because sometimes you look at some tag teams now and you're like, damn, dude, if they broke up, how would I feel about that?
Like Jeff Hardy in his prime.
Yeah, like when the Hardy brothers broke up originally, and Matt Hardy did the version 1 thing, it just was like, what?
Like, huh?
Is it really? Or like when Edge and Christian broke up. Edge, I mean, just look, Edge is a Hall of Famer. Is Christian? I'm just saying, dude, like there's some tag teams that one does better than the other. And Montez Ford looks like he's gonna shine, dude. I can see him going for like the Intercontinental title or something. And he's just a freak athlete, dude. Some of the spots he pulls off, I'm like, what the hell? Why did you go that high? That was amazing.
You were a misstep away from
And that one spot where he hit the guardrail on that match, that one scared me.
Dude, it's cool. And I mean, Antonio Dawkins, like nothing against him. Like he's good as well. I think they both would make amazing singles competitors. They cut great promos. They're comfortable playing themselves, and it doesn't look like they're trying to force a character out of it. They're just organic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we'll see where that goes, but good match, good outcome. Glad they're still the champs.
I think the others are going to break up.
Oh, yeah, Andrade. Oh, yeah. Andrade and Angel Garza, we think that they're going to split soon.
They'll probably split.
At
least my opinion, at
fucking
least.
up.
I thought that the match was a little bit bland. Like it was a good match, but Andrade, I think Andrade needs to get into singles competition and get out of tag teaming with Angel because I
I
don't think, yeah, no, I don't think that they're like they mesh, but they don't, but they can be better as solo stars than as a tag team. They have too much talent to be in a tag team. Then Montez Ford looked great in the match, and I think personally he has one of the best frog splashes in the business as we speak. Like his frog splash is beautiful, and he brings like crackhead type energy. Like I'm not calling him a crackhead, but he's always like energetic, hyped up. Like
or
he's
he's
what
coked
Mojo
up.
Rawley
He's
wishes he
warrior.
could be. Yeah, pretty much. He's like a modern day Ultimate Warrior with the type of energy that he brings to the ring.
Yeah,
I just
especially when he
don't
shakes the
know.
ropes.
I just don't know what's next for them because there's no real tag teams on Raw besides the Viking Raiders, and they've already had their feud like 10 times by now.
Weren't they
So
called War Raiders in NXT?
yeah,
Yeah.
then they
I
became the
really miss
Viking
that name.
Experience.
It was
Can't forget the
stupid when they
Viking
got that name.
Experience.
Nathan, did you go yet?
Yeah, I went.
Antwan.
All right, I thought it was a good match. I was definitely one thing I was entertained by Kevin Owens on commentary. That's number one. Number two, Montez Ford, as y'all mentioned, man, I gotta agree. I agree. This man, I really feel like if it ever comes to a point him and Angelo Dawkins split up, I think he would thrive as a singles player because Montez, he has his move set. First of all, I love the frog splashes. I'm a huge fan of this man. He can deliver a great frog splash. He has that killer ability in the ring, and his character is insane. So I definitely think this guy, you know, if they ever chose to split them up, I really think that the guy has a promising future. But as far as Angel and Andrade goes, I definitely think Andrade is definitely better off alone. The guy is super talented. He doesn't need Angel. He doesn't need him. And them as a tag team, I think they mesh, but it's like something about them is just not clicking all the way enough to say that okay, these guys are like they your let's see if you like your let me see, I'm gonna try to use a Mexican tag team like in Mexico. Like you want like you think you look at them, you think they have that chemistry, they click somewhere, but it's like they just don't have it. They're missing something. And I think personally, it's hard to really frame them as champions if their chemistry is just not all the way clicking. Like Selena, she can make it work. She's the mastermind. She's the brainchild of this. You
I
know,
mean, Ric
I look,
Flair admires her basically. If Ric Flair admires you, you know you did good.
exactly.
That's my opinion, at least.
I agree. With Selena, she's a phenomenal manager. Like I said, she's if anything, she's the blueprint of this whole thing. She's the blueprint. You know, I just think that as a tag team, though, as a concept, I think it just isn't working. It's just not working. I think her and Andrade are better off alone because of the fact the dynamic they both give off together. Because they both have that extreme amazing chemistry. But see, you putting Andrade and Angel together, it's hard to really kind of mesh them because they both have different have they both kind of have a different form of the characters are different from each other. It's like they're not the street profits where it's like you see one out of the other. You definitely see the connection that they both have with each other, and see that's what's missing out of Andrade and Angel. They're missing that. And I know, and that's what I noticed out. If you notice their entrance, they came out to the match, you can kind of see that a little bit. Like it's hard to really kind of like see where it glues in together for them. It's hard to kind of picture it, honestly. If anything, if you were to make Andrade, you want to have him get a tag team partner, I think if anything, you had to get him somebody that actually has the same mannerisms as him. That kind of gives off that vibe. You know. So, but overall, my personal take. I thought it was a great, good match. I do think it's time for Angel and Andrade to go their separate ways and just have Selena manage Andrade. And as far as the Street Profits concerned, definitely looking forward to see who they challenge next.
Sure. Next match we have Mandy Rose defeated Sonya Deville in a loser leaves WWE match. I was going for Sonya. I honestly think she's the better one out of the two. I know that's a bit unpopular, but I really think that minus the fact that Sonya is not probably as charismatic as Mandy. She does, I prefer her in the ring over Mandy. Nathan, what do you think?
Honestly, Steve, I can agree though. I mean, but also I didn't really care for this match because I just wasn't seeing much of that match, if you know what I mean. But the build up is all right, but the match itself, not too. It was all right in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I'd rather see the hair versus hair match instead.
I was hoping that one of them would get their hair cut, like they would look like they wanted to speak to the manager, Karen.
James.
I thought that Mandy. Okay, so first of all, I have Mandy Rose blocked on Instagram because of how much I hate her.
Hate it.
I have had her blocked for about a year now. However, I am going to remove her from my block list because she impressed me last night with her overall change in attitude. I'm not going to say gimmick or character.
He likes that she put more clothes on.
Yes, because she sucks at being the hot one. She's not. She's very unattractive. She needs to stop that.
She just tries too hard.
She needs to get better at wrestling. She needs to start focusing on getting Otis that win with the briefcase. And
see, we have an anti-simp here.
So, look,
yeah.
I don't think that she did well in the match. I think that she made me literally want to punch myself in the face when she tried to pick that table up.
Oh my god, that was awful.
It's not her fault that it weighs more than her.
Why? There were some things that she did in that match, bro. I was like, what?
Okay, so that's when we were first on Twitter, and I was like, I bet Twitter's going crazy. And we refreshed it, and she made herself into a meme in that moment.
Dude, I was laughing my ass off.
At least no more plastic goes in the ocean. It goes into her.
Yeah. I was saying, Vince needs to book her versus that table next WrestleMania. For sure. Loser leaves WWE for good. For good, man. No. I don't know, dude. It was horrible. I was like, dude, okay, but that's all right. All right. Maybe, I don't know. God, I don't know. There's literally no words for that. I was just like, what the hell is she doing, man? And then Sonya coming out, dude, without seeing a post, a tweet, nothing. I was like, dude, she looks exactly like Broken Matt Hardy. Why? And Cassie was like, it's because her hair's down. I was like, oh, that's right. Her hair's never down. Her thing's hair up and square up or whatever.
Yeah, it was weird.
She had it down for the first time. And I was very disappointed they changed the stipulation. Did you guys hear apparently why?
Oh, yeah.
So she has to, court appearances and stuff like that because of the issue? Okay.
And therapy.
Yeah.
So she's probably going to need that. Was traumatic.
But I was upset. I was like, damn, dude, that would have been so cool because there's been some iconic hair versus hair matches. Edge versus Kurt Angle, Donald Trump, Vince McMahon.
My dad was there.
For what?
For WrestleMania 23.
Oh, yeah?
Awesome. Yeah, he was there. He said it was really cool.
Wait, it was in Michigan?
Yes, it was in Detroit.
It was. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, the match sucked. It was, I mean, it didn't suck. It was a WWE match. It was good to watch. It was entertaining. But was there wrestling, skill? Kind of, not really.
It wasn't impressive. Skill.
Yeah, it wasn't impressive. But it was entertaining because she sucked so bad. So I'm like, well, it did the job. So whatever. Cool.
It's those matches where it's so bad, it's actually funny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was all right with it.
They're really coming for it.
Antwan?
All right. I thought it was a pretty good match. I definitely was impressed by both women. To Sonya, I want to say I apologize for the events that happened last week.
Right.
I definitely think it's unfortunate circumstance that you have to deal with. these kind of fans out here that really does these things. It's like
It's terrifying.
it's terrifying because it's like kids as a fan, you have to realize these superstars, these women here, no matter who these celebrities, they're all human beings at the end of the day. Sonya Deville, she behind the Sonya Deville, that's her name is Daria Bard. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but her first name is Daria. You know, she's a human being, and you can't go stalking her house or go to do something utterly disrespectful in the sense that
and creepy nonetheless.
it's creepy. It's wrong. You can't be going around doing that. You yourself, you have to understand something here. You know, these are human beings. These celebrities that you love and embrace. They all have lives. They have lives inside of that ring. They deserve their privacy. And don't need to be having people going around trying to stalk them or just trying to start it's some stalking issues. To me, that I hate that. And I feel bad that Sonya had to go through that. So to see her lose this match is quite understandable. I definitely I definitely they did this for her to take a break, to kind of like get this incident off her out of sight, out of mind a little bit. So she's definitely gonna be gone for a while, but I definitely anticipate that she will be back one day. But again, apologies to Sonya, Daria, around the incident that took place, and hope that she gets better, and wishing her the best.
Yeah, Jacob.
I was bored during this match. I found it funny though that there was more stipulation in extreme matches than there was at extreme rules in this event, because I think you had three or so that were like no disqualification. But this match kind of bored me. I knew Sonya was going to lose because she needs to take some time off after a traumatic experience that nobody should ever have to go through. Nobody should ever have to deal with something like that. Like, fans need to learn boundaries and stuff like that. Like, if you're really thinking about kidnapping somebody or something like that, you should really seek out help. You shouldn't go through with something like that. That's something that nobody should have to go through. And I hope Sonya finds the closure that she needs. I hope that she, feels comfortable with herself, because but yeah, I think she'll come back. Me personally, I wouldn't mind seeing her in a mask, like just putting a mask over her, because there's not a lot of like luchadora wrestlers, and I feel like if you like trainers or so, like have like Rey Mysterio or somebody like give her like some tips and stuff, kind of build her up in the performance center, and you could have her come back as a under a mask or something like that, start terrorizing. Then she gets unmasked by like Mandy Rose and finally beats Mandy because she hasn't really beaten Mandy yet. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah. Before I move on, just want to say, Sonya, hope you're doing well. We all love you. Um, next match.
Honestly, I don't think she'll ever be the same after that, because I don't think she'll ever look at fans the same after that. Because honestly, that the fact that somebody would stoop so low to kidnap somebody who has done everything in their heart to be in the business that they have grown up or have loved ever since they were a little kid is so disgusting. Something like that makes me like lose hope for humanity. I'm sorry, it just pisses me off. I don't want to go into rant on that shit, because that's not what we're about. We're not about like that kind of shit. We're just about wrestling, and we're just about to, let's just move on.
Yeah, for sure, man. Dominic Mysterio and Rollins, with Rollins defeating Dominic Mysterio. I thought it was a good match. Dominic put up one hell of a fight. I was kind of going for him, but man, what a match. Nathan?
That was a great match. I was like very surprised at how good Dominic was. Did he actually like wrestle before this?
I think he was like trained at the Performance Center.
He got trained by Ray and Lance Storm, which makes sense why he was so good.
She's a human being, and you can't go stalking her house or go to do something utterly disrespectful in the sense that
and creepy nonetheless.
It's creepy. It's wrong. You can't be going around doing that. You yourself, you have to understand something here. these are human beings. These celebrities that you love and embrace, they all have lives. They have lives inside of that ring. They deserve their privacy. And don't need to be having people going around trying to stalk them, or going to just trying to start it's some stalking issues. To me, that I hate that. And I feel bad that Sonya had to go through that. So to see her lose this match is quite understandable. I definitely see it. I definitely they did this for her to take a break. To kind of like get this incident off her out of sight, out of mind a little bit. So she's definitely gonna be gone for a while. But I definitely anticipate that she will be back one day. But again, apologies to Sonya, Daria, around the incident that took place, and hope that she gets better, and wishing her the best.
Yeah, Jacob.
I was bored during this match. I found it funny though that there was more stipulation in extreme matches than there was at Extreme Rules in this event, because I think you had three or so that were like no disqualification. But this match kind of bored me. I knew Sonya was going to lose because she needs to take some time off after a traumatic experience that nobody should ever have to go through. Nobody should ever have to deal with something like that. Like, fans need to learn boundaries and stuff like that. Like, if you're really thinking about kidnapping somebody or something like that, you should really seek out help. You shouldn't go through with something like that. That's something that nobody should have to go through. And I hope Sonya finds the closure that she needs. I hope that she, feels comfortable with herself, because but yeah, I think she'll come back. Me personally, I wouldn't mind seeing her in a mask, like just putting a mask over her, because there's not a lot of like luchadora wrestlers, and I feel like if you like trainers or so, like have like Rey Mysterio or somebody like give her like some tips and stuff, kind of build her up in the performance center, and you could have her come back as a under a mask or something like that, start terrorizing. Then she gets unmasked by like Mandy Rose and finally beats Mandy because she hasn't really beaten Mandy yet. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah. Before I move on, just want to say, Sonya, hope you're doing well. We all love you. Um,
You know,
Next match.
honestly, I don't think she'll ever be the same after that, because I don't think she'll ever look at fans the same after that. Because honestly, that the fact that somebody would stoop so low to kidnap somebody who has done everything in their heart to be in the business that they have grown up or have loved ever since they were a little kid is so disgusting. You Something like that makes me like lose hope for humanity. I'm sorry, it just pisses me off. I don't want to go into rant on that shit, because that's not what we're about. We're not about like that kind of shit. We're just about wrestling, and we're just about to, let's just move on.
Yeah, for sure, man. Dominic Mysterio and Rollins, with Rollins defeating Dominic
Oh my
Mysterio. I thought it was a good match. Dominic put up one hell of a fight. Um, I was kind of going for him, but man, what a match. Nathan.
That was a great match. I was like very surprised at how good Dominic was. Did he actually like wrestle before this?
I think he was like trained at the Performance Center.
He got
Oh,
trained
okay.
by Ray and Lance Storm,
Oh,
which
okay.
makes
Lance
sense why he
Storm.
was so good.
Right, that makes more sense. But honestly, he was great. I was very surprised by his performance. My dad was like, okay, if this is his first time in the ring, then it might not be a good match. But me and my father were both very surprised by it. Rollins paying tribute to WCW, as James referenced about a night ago, I believe. But yeah, I thought it was a great match, great spots in the ring, and when Dominic's mom came out, it brought like realism to the match, which I kind of like in wrestling. Which no, I actually don't kind of like. I love realism in wrestling matches. I love when they like have like parts in the match where it feels all too real. Like okay, this is something that is new. This is something that could possibly like happen in real life, where it adds realism. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I this I was a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. I was a little upset when Rollins beat him. Because to me, it just didn't seem right if you lost your first match in the WWE. Take, for example, Sting, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, if not the best WCW wrestler of all time, other than Ric Flair. But anyways, yeah, the match itself was great. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
All right. I love this match. I was impressed by Dominic's performance. He went out there and stood against a former world champion. I know a lot of people are probably upset about the fact that Dominic lost. But I look at this as more to be added to the story. This streak is definitely not over with. And to be honest, it's like losing. I say that he can't. I say this. He came out a star in the end. You know, it's not for Dominic. He's relatively young, and considering the fact that he went out there and took a former world champion, a former Universal champion, a man that's won the Royal Rumble, a man that's headline WrestleMania, a man that's like in the caliber of Seth Rollins. He brought it to Seth. He almost won. It's like it's not every day you get to have a talent that's new. Go into these kind of matches and deliver the kind of performance that he did. This is why I put it out on I have to give props to both him and a guy that I was mentioning back at Takeover, Pat McAfee. These was both their debut matches in the WWE, and I really think that both of those two, they went to their matches and stood out. Dominic, he came into this, looking for redemption for his father, for his family, for himself, and he went out there and he brought everything to Seth. There were a lot of moves he went out there and hit that I didn't think this guy could do. But Dominic, he's a future star in the making. You know, I definitely see a lot heading to his future. This rivalry surely is not over. They had great storytelling all around. With a lot of the touches with handcuffing Ray to the rope and kind of watching his son getting like a lot of those physical elements. I like how they told it. It's like you see the story is being told. Then his mom, the Ray's wife Angie, she coming out. It's like they really, really told a great story here with this. Because they really like it make you feel bad for Dominic and want to see him win this against Seth, who's his dastardly heel. Who's he's
He's a stud as being a heel, in my opinion.
I agree he's a
He's awesome.
stud. I agree he's a stud. The guy he performed this role perfectly. When he first was doing this Messiah gimmick, I didn't know what to make of it. But Seth really has evolved his character. I really think this is one of the best characters going right now in wrestling. I really do believe that. He's really took this character to new levels, and the fact that seeing how far they're taking this ride with him and Ray, and interjecting Dominic into this, and then Dominic having that performance, it really adds to the story. It really delivers a great story all around. I gotta give props to both men, and to also for Ray, and Buddy, and to even Angie. They all portrayed a part in adding something to the story. And to me, that's what makes the match stand out. That's what makes the match great. Great storytelling all around, and being able to go out and just deliver a great performance. To me, I love this match. It was one of my favorites of the night. Both men delivered big time.
Yeah, James.
Okay, so there's a couple of things that, well, I agree. There was a lot of good storytelling, like Antwan said. A lot of emotional appeal with the parents being involved and stuff like that, and a lot of people can relate to having their children in situations where they want to defend them. And I mean that like, think about that part of the audience that was watching. They can relate to that, they can feel that, and then they want Dominic to win. That's the idea, to get people behind the face and against the heel. They did an excellent job at doing that. My opinion of the match, I think it was a really good one. Dominic started off, so it was odd. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe it was a little bit of nerves. Maybe one thing that we haven't talked about is the Thunderdome environment. So I'm not sure as a performer if I would be more nervous with a crowd there of people or a crowd of virtual people. I don't know. That's interesting because it's never happened before. There's nothing to compare it to. So how could you say? And to see him come out, it was like, okay, he's kind of showing a little bit of nerves, but that may be worked, a little bit because it's his debut match. He might kind of want us to think he's nervous. Then he started off the match. It was a little slow. They locked up. He did this thing. He hit the ropes. So I was like, okay. Then the middle of the match and towards the end, that table spot happened, and I was like, all right, here we go. That leg sweep to the table was like, okay, now we're talking. I mean, it was cool. Buddy Murphy's involvement. I didn't think Ray was going to get involved because of the segment before the match where Dominic asked him to give him his word. I was hoping that no one would get involved, but of course they did. And I thought, and another thing that a lot of people may talk about or may not, why the hell was Dominic wearing a hood?
Yeah.
Thank you. He didn't even wear it. He didn't even wear it.
Like, take the thing off.
I think it was supposed to be.
And look, here's the thing, bro.
Dad, but I'm not gonna be without him.
I get it. If you don't have, I get it from the image standpoint. If you don't feel like you have the body yet to be on TV without your shirt on, then put a freaking singlet on with tights. Do something like Baron Corbin. Don't do that with your hood with a zipper. So in the middle of the match, it comes off anyways, and you end up showing your body anyways. That didn't make any sense to me. I was like, that's kind of weird, but it's cool, but it's not, but it's weird. I don't know what to think of it.
It's gonna get caught up and get him hurt.
Yeah, that's like another thing. Like the hood can get someone hurt. I don't know. It's just a variable that is like, why is it there? Like if a wrestler came out with the cape, would you expect him to wear the cape the whole match? Like, did the Hurricane do that? No. Like, I don't know. It was weird. It threw me off. It was flipping around all the whole match, and I was like, dude, it's just distracting. Just put on a mask or something, or put on a I don't know, like one of those masks that they wear at those little balls where they only cover their eyes like this.
Like
the masquerade or whatever the hell.
What the hell?
I don't know. Do something different. Don't put a hood on and then not wear it.
Huh?
Well, when you said the cape thing, I was thinking to myself, hold on a second. I think the Hurricane is going to have a talk with you, James.
Well, it's not that I'm hating on capes. I'm just saying that dude didn't. Hurricane Helms didn't wear his cape when he was fighting crime. Took it off. You know what I mean? And what's up with that?
He's a superhero. I mean, Kane. There's actually footage of Kane wearing his cape. Actually, it's out there on YouTube.
Yeah, because they tagged up for a while. It was awesome.
I think he looks cool with that, in my opinion. But yeah, let's continue.
Your thoughts for Dominic and Mysterio? I mean, Dominic and Rollins.
Oh man, well first off, I hated his little hood. Like me and my friend were talking about it the whole match. We're like, is he gonna wear it? Is he gonna take it off? Then he almost wore it. Then the whole match we were like, when is the frog splash coming? Because you knew he was gonna do a fucking frog splash because of Eddie Guerrero. I knew that was coming. Then Seth Rollins was giving me what you call
Vicky? That's my question.
Vicky would probably be heated if they brought up that storyline. I'm not gonna lie to you. But Rollins was giving me Sandman vibes when Sandman and Tommy Dreamer, or no, was it Sandman and Raven or Tommy Dreamer in ECW, where he had the Sandman or he had Raven's wife, or was it Tommy Dreamer's wife, where he took like them and the kid. Bro, that's why I thought
yeah, dude.
Okay. I thought I thought Ray's wife was gonna turn on them and join up with Seth or something like that. That's what I was expecting to happen. When he was going up there for the hug, I was like, oh, she's gonna turn on him, isn't she? But nothing happened with that because then Dominic came and saved. I liked the ending where Ray just kind of had to sit there and watch his son's head get stomped in. It was pretty emotional. Then Ray's little banter when he was tied up, like he said, Seth, you son of a bitch, like when he was going towards his wife. It was an enjoyable match. I think it was a good first start to Dominic, but I hope he goes to NXT.
See, realism adds more realism is better for professional wrestling, in my opinion. I love it when they have like realistic like type of shit. Like they have more emotion to it, where they actually have like somebody actually one of the wrestlers break down crying, or one of the managers doing that type of shit. But
For me,
I just enjoy it.
the relatability. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
the realism, because you know a lot of it's like really overdone, and it's like, okay, well, there's not really a dead man just walking around, but you can relate to his character in the sense that, okay, this dude comes back to like, you know, whatever, like you can relate to certain things in wrestling, and yeah, I think it's relatability that this match had. Like I said, you know, there's people out there that have kids that are in their early 20s, like Dominic, and they're like, dude, I would hate to see my kid get, like, I would hate to be handcuffed to a rope and see my kid get their ass whipped. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, that's like it's appealing to people through the like that relatability, like major characters have always done.
Yeah. So the next match, the Raw Women's Championship match, Asuka defeated Sasha Banks. Match I got wrong. I thought it would be Sasha the one keeping her belt and not Bayley, but James, you go ahead.
Okay. I'm very upset Sasha lost. I'm gonna talk from a Mark's perspective first. Sasha will get her revenge. You know why? Because she's the blueprint. She's the standard. And she's the legit boss.
Next Sunday, she will be.
Well,
Yeah,
she's the
she'll get her
legit
payback.
dickhead to fans.
No, but you know what, man? I thought it was good. I hope it leads to Bayley and her fighting for the SmackDown. I think Bayley's making that SmackDown Women's title extremely relevant. I've never paid attention to it more so than I have now. I think that Sasha needs to strip it from her, become a heel. I think that, I don't know, dude. I think the storyline is just going to continue from here. I don't know. Like, it was a good match. I think it was better than Bayley versus Asuka. I did, personally. I thought that. But that may have been, again, like I said, that Thunderdome environment was different for these people. You know, these guys are used to arenas full of people, and for the last 3-4 months, they've been, or I don't even know, almost 4.5, they've been used to the Performance Center, not leaving in the location. So it may have thrown them off, and that's maybe, you know, later on in the show, they kind of got used to the environment. Asuka had already been out there, so had Sasha, you know, but she was just at ringside. So maybe they were kind of like, okay, we got our feet wet, so now we're going to actually kill this shit. I don't know, but maybe I could be wrong. I thought it was just a smoother match than Bayley versus Asuka. But we'll see where it goes from here. I think they'll continue the storyline tonight on Raw.
Jacob?
I like the match. For me personally, it was match of the night. In my opinion, Sasha and Asuka always have good chemistry. Every single match that they've had that's gotten like good time has always gotten like in a good direction with it. I was a fan of the little details that they showed where at the end of the match where Bayley didn't take the hit for Sasha, like Sasha took the hit for Bayley. And I think that's gonna start planting the seeds like I took the hit for you, but you didn't take the hit for me. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, like the little details I really liked. And me personally, I think Asuka should feud with Shayna from here. Or either Shayna or Nia Jax. I hope she doesn't feud with Nia Jax. They already had a mini feud. But give me Asuka versus Shayna and like put them in the fight pit. Fuck it, just throw them in there. Give them like 30 minutes. Just go wild. Like
You know
I
what?
would love to see it.
I
Nathan?
just thought of an idea.
Go ahead.
What if WWE? There was a little match thing that happened in SummerSlam back in '98, I believe,
The
where
Lions
Owen
Den.
Hart was in a match with Ken Shamrock in that Octagon match.
Was it the Lions? It was the Lions Den. That's what it was.
That's what they should do with Asuka and Shayna Baszler.
That's what I was thinking. I'd love
Could
to
you
see it.
imagine how awesome that would be, actually?
Just let them beat the fuck out of each other. Like
Yeah.
give them the next week off. Like say go out there, just fuck yourselves up.
Yeah, or they should do that at like the Heart's Dungeon, or like at Shayna Baszler's like private gym or something.
Then that can set up if Ronda Rousey comes back. if Asuka loses to Shayna, then you would have Shayna versus Ronda, which I think would be pretty good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know how Ronda is right now, but I wouldn't mind seeing that. But yeah, it's set up a bunch of like potential stuff on Raw. I just hope more women get a chance after this feud is done with, because there are so many talented women on the roster that get like no shine whatsoever. It's kind of sad.
Nathan, what's your thoughts
Agreed.
on the match? Nathan?
Oh, sorry. I didn't hear you say my name though, but yeah, the match itself was actually like really good for some reason. But like how you said, with like the small details like that, I was like, okay, they're starting to form a rift. They're starting to form a rift, and then pretty soon it's going to be the downfall of those two. But yeah, the match itself was really, really, really awesome. I thought it was a great match. You know, everybody did their part well. Sasha did her part well as being a heel. Asuka did phenomenal, and obviously Bailey being Bailey, an arrogant prick, but who's actually one of the nicest people in the business outside of the ring. But yeah, that was a great match.
Antwan?
I thought it was a great match. I definitely saw Sasha losing as I know that they're looking towards. I'm looking forward towards them building as they started planting the seeds last night for the dissension between Bailey and Sasha. You know, as I believe they finna grade this build towards their eventual match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. But overall, it was really great. You know, Sasha and Asuka, we've seen them clash plenty of times before, and they both always deliver. You know, when they go out and perform. So overall, great match, and looking forward towards to see who Asuka's finna grade a feud with. Probably Shayna and Bailey and Sasha. I guess they're gonna start getting their feud starting soon. Possibly maybe payback if they lose the women's tag titles, and then we'll see where we go. We go from there.
Yeah, now the pre-main event we had Drew McIntyre defeating Randy. Good match. There was blood in it. It was very hardcore. I was expecting Randy to win, but I'm fine with Drew. I'm happy
Very
with.
hardcore. Very hardcore. Have you watched CZW?
It's hardcore for WWE, okay? We haven't seen this in a long time.
See what? He busted up off a headbutt.
Yes, that's what we want. We want blood. Randy's fucking Drew's eye was bleeding, and Randy's forehead was bleeding.
Did you have a panic attack when he put the screwdriver in Jeff Hardy's ear?
Oh my
Frank,
god! Don't even talk about that.
Oh, I remember that.
Memories.
That's brutal.
Jake, you can go.
I like the match. People hated the start. I don't know what they expected from a Randy Orton match. Like you're gonna see headlocks and lockups, a lot of it. That's Randy Orton's style. He's been that same style his whole career. I don't know why people were like, "Oh, Randy's boring." Oh, this, all that. He's been the same way his whole career. It's not a boring. It is a boring style, but it's not a bad style. He's not terrible in the ring. He just wrestles slowly because that's his character. He picks you apart piece by piece, and I like that neither man hit their finisher in the match because it made both of them look strong. It looked like Drew and Randy were just kind of trying to feel each other out, and Drew luckily got something off on Randy. And then after the match, Randy looked pissed. Drew was out there talking shit and holding up the title and stuff. And honestly, I was expecting Otis to just come down and do
Yeah,
something with him, but that we can only dream.
Nathan.
I thoroughly enjoyed that match. I really did, especially when it, especially usually when wrestling has like some blood, usually it gets good.
Yeah,
It starts to like build like the match itself up, which it did, and it did it perfectly. I was basically on the edge of my seat. I was thoroughly enjoying the match, and they didn't hit any of the finishers, which I was very interested with. It made them both look like they were absolute monsters in the ring. And, Drew McIntyre obviously won the match, and he did a great job. I've always been a fan of Drew McIntyre ever since he came to the WWE. After he, after he, after he left, or was he fired?
I don't know. I think it was released.
Okay, if it was that, then I always kept track of like what he did in PGW. What was another one?
Impact.
He was in Impact and the other companies that he was in. Yeah, he did awesome in those companies, which I have nothing but respect for. And I loved his run in NXT. I loved his heel run. I've always loved him. He's always been one of my favorite modern wrestlers of all time.
Yeah, Antwan.
Man, I thought that was another one of my favorite matches of the night. Drew and Randy, they went out there and tore the house down. It got brutal, intense. Both men busted open, got that sporting that blood out there. I really saw like the intensity that both men had. They made that. They both basically went out there and I guess as Jacob mentioned, got to feel each other. You know, there's obviously a bigger story that's going to come out of this for a rematch. I definitely see that happening. But they went out there and killed it. I one thing to take note is just as you mentioned, they didn't hit any of their finishers, and I guess that's because they're trying to draw another narrative to the story where they're not where it's like Drew he couldn't hit the glass cow kick on Randy, and Randy couldn't hit not neither the punt or the RKO on Drew. So I'm guessing there's more to the story that's gonna go along the way in terms of what they're gonna do here, because I guess it was a way of saying, you know, Drew got Drew had Randy's number this night. Yeah, he had his number, and Randy he looked pissed. He looked like, oh, so that's how we're gonna do it. You're gonna roll me up when I least expect it. Okay. Wait. Let's have another match. Let's see if you're gonna carrot your way into another roll up, or you're actually gonna be man enough to hit your finisher on me, because you're one punt kick away from me winning the championship. That's that attitude I got from Randy after the match. That's the attitude I got from him. While Drew, he looked like it was like, yeah, I beat your ass, Randy. I told you I was gonna beat you, and basically held the title up. Just showing, basically just letting Randy know, I kicked your ass. I told you all that shit talk you talk. There's nothing but just shit. Now you got your ass kicked. What are you gonna do now? So that's what I caught. That's the dialogue I kind of got from both of them. After the match was over. So overall, it was brutal. It was intense. Great match.
James.
So I'm gonna bank off of a couple things that Jacob pointed out. I did notice that on social media that people were kind of just picking on the match, and dude, like Jacob said, you gotta understand, like that's just the style of wrestling that I like it. Dude, Randy Orton can tell more with a lockup than most dudes can tell with 5 front flips, and that's just how good he is. That's why he talks so much shit about these independent guys that are like all flash and like no technical prowess. Like he has the ability to sell the headlock that he's getting you in like it's the most painful thing you've ever been in. And that to me that's some good ass wrestling, dude. You're telling me you've only done 3 moves and it's been how long and you've told what? Like that's good. That's work. That's what they say. Like, oh, I worked a match. That's what I see the definition of working a match is. And he does it well. He's a natural. It's almost like he was born to do it.
His family did come from he did come from a wrestling
Yeah.
family.
Yeah. So and another thing, like I didn't even notice that until now that they didn't even hit finishers. Like I know they went for them, but I really didn't even notice that they didn't hit any. And I was like, that's cool. Like that. And you know what? It's funny because the same people talking shit about the fact that they didn't do finishers on each other are the same people probably saying that why is there so many finishers with false finishes and blah blah blah. Like, which one do you want? Do you want 20 finishers a match or do you want none? Or which one do you not like? It doesn't make any sense. Like, this is something different from what we're used to seeing. Like, think about 5 years ago when Cena and Orton were having their SummerSlam matches. How many AAs were in that match? Too many to count. And like, I don't even want to see that again. I don't want to see that kind of stuff. Like, I want to see a match that makes me say, God, what the hell just happened? Like, I want to be surprised. You know what I mean? I don't want to be able to be like, okay, after the 8th RKO, finally he won. Like, that's awesome. Like, I get tired of watching, like, literally physically tired of watching matches like that. I'm like, oh, damn it.
That's kind of the same thing with Brock Lesnar.
Yes, dude. I'm like, damn it. He kicked out again, dude. When is this going to end? Like, I don't, God. But I guess that's the beauty of it, too, and that's the entertaining part. So I liked the match. It was good. Everything was awesome. The headbutt was cool. It shows Randy's dedication because he didn't move out of the way. It was his fault that he got bloody. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't in the match. I wasn't either one of them, but I think it's his fault because he didn't move. You know, Drew's done that Glasgow kiss hundreds of times and thousands of times. He hasn't hurt anybody. So, I mean, whatever. But I don't think Randy cares like that kind of stuff. It makes him look better. You know what I mean? Like you said, Nathan, it makes the match a little more real, makes it a little more like, hell yeah.
So everybody went. Everyone gave their opinion and move on to the main event.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. The Fiend defeated Braun Strowman for the Blue Universal Championship with a very special guest coming out at the end. So the person predicted a heel Roman was coming. Jacob, props to you, man.
I'm not even gonna lie. I kind of read a rumor like 3 weeks ago that said Roman Reigns was gonna make a return at SummerSlam, but then it got me thinking. Right, everybody who's kind of faced the Fiend has turned heel. So I was like, okay, Roman this would be the perfect opportunity to turn him heel. And a lot of people are saying, I don't know if he's heel or not. The way that he bashed Braun Strowman, well, first off, the match it was all right. It was a little bit slow. Like I don't really like parts where they're just kind of dragging each other around the arena because that gives me flashbacks to Edge versus Orton at Mania 36, where they were just there was too many parts where they were just walking. When they went into Gorilla, though, I found it funny. You could see Vince's hand, like a slight inch of it, like his old wrinkly hand over there in the corner. I was just like, man, they're trying their hardest to not get him on camera back there. But once they got back into the ring, then I liked the whole finishing where Braun cut up the ring. Then the Fiend, one Sister Abigail, picks him up again, does another one, even though if didn't even hit the wooden part, which kind of, but it's wrestling. You got to believe everything sometimes. But it was a all right match. And I don't think it shouldn't be in world title matches because people get upset if he loses. But I get bored if a wrestler wins every single match that he's in. And but I liked Roman coming out and just beating the hell out of Strowman and Bray, then talking shit to Bray, saying you're a freak with a mask and nothing else, basically saying you can't handle the responsibilities like I can. I like his shirt, wreck everyone and leave. He fucked Braun's back up. He fucked Braun's back up with those steel chair shots. Those were stiff as hell. But yeah, overall it was a good ending. I think it brought in the shock factor that I think WWE was missing throughout the whole show.
Antwan?
I thought it was a pretty good match. I thought it was great. Well, one thing I a lot of the touches I liked about it. The false count anywhere element was they're taking it backstage. I didn't catch that part. I guess Vince was there. I guess they didn't want to put him in the camera, but I like the one thing I liked was the fact that they brawled. The Fiend and Braun, they brawled. They went all out. It felt like it was more about a personal animosity towards each other versus it being for the title. I think it was more so about them wanting to kind of like fight it, slug it out, and see who was going to survive. Because Braun, he's fake as Braun. We saw the transformation of how of both men. It started out with Braun facing the Firefly Funhouse braid, and it translated, and then it went on to him facing the either a World's braid, and now you got the Fiend. Then Braun, him they did the swamp fight, and Braun got into the swamp. He came out basically being the monster that we all knew and loved from years ago, and both of them they look great out there. They went out there and basically kind of just killed, basically just brought it to each other, just killed each other. I like where he Braun tore the ring up, and then the Fiend was basically hitting his moves on them to win the title. I was glad to see that happen. No, it's like with Braun, I said this from the beginning, for many months ago. When he won the title, it's obvious that he was holding it as he was kind of like a placeholder in the sense, kind of a placeholder, because when he won it, there was no story behind him winning it. There was no story. Him and Goldberg just had a random match that happened before the title at WrestleMania, and then because due to Roman not being able to compete, due to the Corona, and with him with Braun winning, it kind of gave like, okay, let's see how this is gonna go, because it's like you're not gonna get used to seeing it, because it's like there was no story behind him winning the title, and his reign as champion, hasn't really been the best. But I give him credit for how he's been defending it, against the challenges he's faced, from Miz and Morrison, then he got the different versions of Bray. Last night, I definitely thought it was more about them. It really felt like it wasn't for the title. It felt like it was different than how we saw Drew and Randy. It seemed like to me, this match, it was physical, but rather it was something that was just meant to be, for a non title in a sense, versus it being for a championship. So overall, physical bout, and also welcome back the big dog. I can't do Michael Cole. I can't do Michael Cole's impression of it. He does it better than I could. But it was great to see him come back. I honestly was surprised. I didn't expect Roman here at all. I felt because due to the him saying, I know he was saying once before about due to the coronavirus epidemic, his health concern with the leukemia. I knew that I didn't think he would come back anytime soon, at least maybe sometime later in the year. But the time he came back last night was completely unexpected. It gave a lot of shock value that was missing the whole night, as Jacob pointed out. Um, I think with this, he's definitely turning heel here, kind of giving an edge to his character. Going a different direction with it. I don't know if this means, I don't know where this could mean, if this could go, if this is going to be a Braun, a Fiend versus Roman, or a potential rematch, a triple threat, that could be Roman, Fiend, and Braun for the title. I don't know where they could go with this. There are plenty of ways they can go with it, but it was definitely great to see Roman back. He looked jacked, like he's been in the gym. He's been putting in the work. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what's next out of these guys here. Overall physical bout. Great ending to the show. Definitely was surprised and looking forward to seeing what happens next for each of them on SmackDown this Friday.
James.
So I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought that I don't know, like Jacob said something earlier about there being more extreme matches in this one than Extreme Rules. That was something that this match kind of made me think of. I was like, what, man, this is cool, but like, what the hell's going on? Why is there so much of this? I thought it fit the ending fit their theme. I didn't understand what the hell they were saying the whole night. I was like, what do you mean I'm not gonna see what coming? What are you talking about? I know you have to have like something to put on the marquee, but what does that mean? And they let me know what that meant. I honestly had no idea. Like it's weird, dude, because in the world of wrestling and especially WWE, usually someone slips something, and like Cassie had said something along the lines of, "Hey, someone said Roman Reigns was at SummerSlam." Like I was telling you guys before we started this recording, and that he was supposedly supposed to be the leader of Retribution, whatever the hell they said. And I was like, whatever. That's too far fetched to believe, but maybe you never know with the WWE. I didn't think he was going to come out like that, though. I was like, what the hell? Like, that was cool. And, it's not very often that you get that anymore because of the world that, is social media. Like, there's so much being fed to people so often. And then the fact that they were in the Thunderdome made it that much better. Because had they been in the Performance Center in front of the NXT audience, like it would not have popped off like the way that it did. So thought it was good, man. I enjoyed it.
Nathan.
Excuse me. I thought it was an okay match. When Braun Strowman brought out the toolbox, I was like, okay, this better get on some levels of CZW type of shit, extreme type of shit like ECW would do or CZW would do. Like I was thinking that Strowman would just cut him like something like that though, like that type of spot. I don't know. I come up with some morbid shit sometimes in wrestling business and stuff. But don't get me wrong, I have that kind of mind. But yeah, I thought the match was all right. But now let's get to the ending of the match. When I saw Roman spear him, I marked out hard. I was jumping like a little boy. I was like, oh my fucking God, Roman Reigns is back. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the match. And, the ending itself was amazing. Like James said, I didn't know what they were talking about when they advertised it as you won't see it coming. But then Romans comes in and I say to myself, I did not see that coming. So yeah, that was absolutely a great ending. One of the best endings in wrestling.
Yeah, so we've made it to the end. Time to get into our outros. I have been Steve. This is my first time hosting. Expect to see more of me, so you're gonna have bad episodes while I'm in charge. I apologize heavily. You're gonna follow all of us on our socials below. Like, comment, subscribe. Hope everyone enjoyed this past wrestling week. Yeah, let's kick it over to James.
All right, guys. So I'll be doing my outro alone. Cassie fell asleep. Okay though. Go follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to us on YouTube, and keep up with our content. We're gonna keep it up for you guys. We don't have all the members that you're going to be that you were used to, but we're gonna keep the content coming, and we're gonna have fun while doing so. So, like and subscribe. Hope you like the episode, and we appreciate all the feedback and all the views.
Yeah, Nathan.
Well, it has gone to this point where I must say, from the bottom of my heart and from all of our hearts, we at Tuck Your Chin Wrestling thank you for taking your time out of your day or taking the time out of your night, depending on where you are, for listening to the fastest rising podcast in professional wrestling. I, Nathaniel Schwabux, want to say thank you, you beautiful people, for listening to us. We love you all, and I hope you all have a great day. And not to mention, go subscribe to us if you already haven't. Take a like or comment or whatever, or comment and subscribe to us. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at Michigan_memehead_2003 because that was the year I was born, 2003. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Jacob.
This has been another fun episode of a beautiful podcast. If you made it this far in the video, comment Mike Schiff, just cuz. And if you want to, I don't know why you would, but if you want to, you can follow me on Instagram at JDubIsThe1. Feel free to. Doesn't matter if you do or if you don't. But yeah, catch you in the next episode.
To the Dark Rebel, Antwan Clark.
Well, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed this great episode with the Tuck Your Chin podcast. We all have fun. I hope you all did too. Definitely was a different change of pace with the core members we have here, but we all each of us, we put our heart and effort into delivering the great content to all of you. Hope you all enjoyed wherever it was at night, during the day, or whether you was on the beach or if you happen to be somewhere in the moon somewhere or out of space somewhere
Or just taking a walk. Or just
wherever you could,
Or taking a shower.
or taking a shower or Whether
Or
you was
beating your meat, whatever you do.
or if you was abducted by aliens. I hope you all enjoyed the episode. Hope you all continue to check us out. Give us a like, comment, subscribe, and follow all of us on our Instagrams accounts, and continue to follow Tuck Your Chin. And as always, continue tucking your chin.